Okay, I think I'm back again, and I hope this time I will not need to stop. Let's move to parts of the houses and talk about the rooms inside the house. The first room that I would like to discuss with you is attic. Attic is the top part of the house and the sorry guys, I'm checking some messages from our IT support team if everything is okay or not. Okay, so attic is a room which is on the top part of our house, and there is also another word, loft, which is similar to attic. It doesn't have exactly the same meaning, but we can leave it like that. Next room that we can discuss is a nursery. Nursery is kids' room. This can be the room where kids sleep and where they live, or also nursery can be used to describe a special room where children play. Okay, it has two different meanings. The next one that I will describe is utility room. Utility room I have never seen in Turkish houses, but in some countries, for example, in America, these kind of rooms are very popular. It's a room where you do all your washing. So as you see, there is a washing machine and a dryer in this room. And it's usually separated. It can be on the back side of the house. The next word that we will learn in the next room is pantry. Pantry has two meanings. One meaning is a special room where we keep and save our food and products. And another meaning of it is the kitchen cabinets where we save products. Okay, two different meanings for the same word. Next two words that we will discuss is cellar and basement. They are almost similar to each other. These both words means a room in the ground. So it is under the ground. On the left photo you can see a cellar. It's very cool usually in this room. So people save sometimes maybe wine or some other homemade products in this room. And on the right side you see a basement. So basement can be used as a room, but in some houses it is not used as a special room. They just have some electricity wires and these kind of maintenance things in the basement room. Of course, everybody knows balcony, and I'm not going to explain balcony to you, but I wanted to explain three words which have kind of similar meaning to balcony. These words are porch, patio, and deck. Now, what's the difference between them? Porch and patio is what you see on the left picture. So it is not usually, it is always on the ground floor. The balcony is not on the ground floor. Balcony can be on the second floor, third floor, or etc. But when it is on the ground floor, we say porch. We can say front porch if it is in front of the house, and we can also say back porch if it is the back side of the house. Patio, it has exactly same meaning with porch, while deck is a little bit different from them. Deck you see on the right side of the photo, so it is not exactly part of the house, it is added after. Okay, so when you build your house, then you add this deck to your house. It can be sometimes also removable, and maybe you can remove, and if you move somewhere else you can take your deck with you. Okay, these are all the rooms that I wanted to discuss with you. Now let me explain some words and phrases related to accommodation. So I will tell you the word and then I will give you an example using this word. Of course, I will also provide you with the meaning of the word or phrase. The first thing that I wanted to discuss with you is to move into. Let me write it for you. To move into, it means to start living in a house or some kind of property. As an example, I can say that my parents moved into a new house last week. Okay, so to move into, it's phrasal verb, and that's why I used in my sentence as a verb. The next one that I will discuss with you is do up. To do up a house or a building or property. This means to fix the property, to upgrade, to make some renovations so the property looks much better, okay? As an example, I can provide you with something like this. I'm going to buy an old house in the city center and I will do it up. Okay, so I will buy an old house and I will renovate this house. So I will do it up. The next word that I would like to discuss with you is to put down a deposit. When you buy a house, first you need to give some money before paying the whole amount of the money, and this action we call to put down a deposit. In some countries, houses are sold by the owners of the house, but in some countries they use brokers to sell the house, and they have something like auction, and maybe several people want to buy the same house, and before all the procedures finish and they finalize the offer, first thing that the buyer should do is put down a deposit. Okay, my example will be something like this. Anna has put down a deposit on this newly built house. Okay, again, this one is phrasal verb, so I use as a verb in my sentence. The next verb that I will discuss is very simple one, to rent. A flat, a house, or also we can use to hire. Usually hire we say for a room. I don't have a house, Bursa, so I'm renting a flat. So to rent, it means to live in a house which you don't own, somebody else, another person owns this house, and you pay money, maybe every month, maybe every week. It can depend on your contract. Next word that I will discuss with you, not word actually, the phrase that I will discuss is to take out mortgage. Do you know what is mortgage? Mortgage is a credit that you get from a bank to buy a house. Okay? To take out a mortgage, it means to borrow some money from the bank as a credit in order to buy a house. I don't have enough money to buy a house right now, so I will need to take out a mortgage. Okay? Does everyone understand the meaning of the phrase to take out the mortgage? I hope so. The next one that I will discuss with you is to put somebody up. To put somebody up, it means to accommodate someone, to give a place to someone for staying. It can be used for house, or it can be used for hotel, or anything. My example will be something like this. My mom is visiting me next week. Guys, this is just an example. Of course, my mom is not going to visit me now due to coronavirus pandemic. Just an example, okay? My mom is visiting me next week and I need to put her up. So I need to find a place where she can stay and I need to arrange accommodation for her. The next phrase that I would like to discuss with you is to live on campus. Do you know what is campus? It's a university building, and some students usually live on campus. They cannot afford to buy or rent a house outside the university, or maybe they don't want to go outside the university, so they live on campus. My example will be something like this. When I was a student, I lived on campus. Okay? I think it is clear for everyone and you understand the meaning of this word. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate and write your questions in comments. And let me check now if we have any comments coming up. Okay, so the quality is better now, I think. And I see a comment from Mert. He wants to know what are we doing now. Now we are learning some words. It's a vocabulary lesson, Mert. And first lesson we are learning the words. Then we will have break, and after break I'm going to ask you some questions and you will need to answer my questions using these words and phrases. Thank you, Babadook. Next phrase that I will discuss with you is first-time buyer. Probably you understand the meaning of this. First-time buyer is a person who buys house for the first time. What do you think is good age to buy your first house in your country, in Turkey? Probably around 30. It can be good age to buy a house. I'm selling a house and I have found an amazing couple who wants to buy it, but they are first-time buyers. Okay, do you understand the meaning of first-time buyer, and do you understand how I used it in the sentence? Next phrase that we will learn today is house hunting. House hunting is used to describe the process of looking for a house or property. Okay, this is the meaning. Now let me write an example for you. House hunting can be very difficult and tiring process or action. Okay. The next phrase that we will discuss today is fully furnished. Do you know what is the meaning of fully furnished? Fully furnished, it means when you buy a house or when you rent a house and it has all things, all kinds of furniture that you need. I will give you an example like this. In Turkey, it is difficult to find a fully furnished house for renting. Similar words that we can also discuss is partially furnished. So partially furnished, it means when there is not all the furniture that you need in the house, but there are some furniture. So only part of the furniture you have. The next word that I would like to discuss with you is home comforts. Home comforts are the things which make your house comfortable, which makes you feel comfortable in your house. An example can be given something like this. I don't have a lot of home comforts, so I don't need a lot of things to make myself feel comfortable at home. Maybe just TV, fridge, and these kind of things can be enough to make me feel comfortable. The next thing that I would like to discuss with you is modcons. This can be a new word for you, and maybe you don't know the meaning of this one. It means all technological things at home, all technology things that you have in your house. For example, a fridge, cook, oven, TV, washing machine, a dishwasher. I can give you an example like this. I love all the modcons in this apartment or in this flat. Imagine I'm buying a new house and I'm looking for a new house and I just saw one house. The house maybe was not very good, but I liked the modcon, so I liked that it had installed fridge and oven, cooker, and these kind of things. The next phrase that we can discuss today is housewarming party. A little bit different from other words. Housewarming party is a party which you arrange when you buy a new house. I will write an example and probably you will understand from my example. I have just bought a new house, so I will need to have a housewarming party. So when you buy a new house and you arrange a party for all your friends or family members or the relatives, this party is called housewarming party. Okay? The next two phrases that we will discuss is permanent address and temporary address. So permanent address is your fixed address where you live permanently, but temporary address is an address of the place where you live temporarily. For example, my permanent address is my home, not hometown, but I will say where I'm written, where the place which is written in my ID card or in my passport, while temporary address can be the place where I'm staying right now. Okay? So my temporary address is 46 West Road. Let's say I'm living on 46 West Road, but the permanent is 52 Country Street. Okay, something like that. So originally I lived on 52 Country Street and this is my permanent address, but for now I'm staying at a different place and my new different place's address is 46 West Road. Okay? The next phrase that we can discuss with you is student digs. Student digs is student accommodation, but this is not the place inside the university, so I'm not talking about dormitory here. It can also be outside the university, like small houses for students. In this country, the properties are very expensive. A normal person can only afford student digs. So normal house prices are very expensive and people cannot afford, people cannot buy these normal houses and they can only buy student digs. So a small house or small houses for students. Next word that we can discuss is dormitory. Dormitory, it is a place for university students, and only university students can live in this kind of place. It is usually not a full house, but rooms. It's like a hotel for university students. My cousin studies at Berkeley University, and she lives in a dormitory. We also use short word for dormitory, and it is called dorm. Okay, short word with the same meaning of dormitory is dorm. Let's see what we have learned so far. So we have learned types of houses, we have learned some rooms inside the house, and we learned these phrases, mostly the verbs in the first part, and then some nouns as well. These are very basic things that you need to know when you are talking about houses or different kinds of accommodation. So they are very vital and very important for you to know. What else can we learn regarding the houses? Maybe we can learn rent with a different meaning. We have already talked about rent as a verb, which was to hire a house. Another meaning for rent as a noun is the amount of money that you pay every month or every week to your house owner. For example, my rent is $300. Okay, so I need to pay $300 every month to my house owner. Next word that we can discuss is deposit. Deposit is what you need to pay in the beginning of your contract, and this is not part of your rent, it is a separate money. So you pay this money in the beginning of the contract, and then when you finish your contract, you can get this money back. You can take back the deposit. One more word that I would like to discuss with you is tenant. Do you know what is the meaning of tenant? Tenant means people who live in the same building. And I can give you an example like this. The tenants in this building are amazing. They never disturb other people. So all people who live in this building, this is tenants, okay? I think we have learned enough words for today, and now we can have 10 minutes break, and in 10 minutes I will be back and I will ask you some questions, and I would like to see your answers in comments. Okay, let's have a break for 10 minutes.